example of that is I'm at NatWest today doing a big activation at, I think NatWest are on the call actually. We're doing a big activation in Milton Keynes' actual NatWest store. Got out of my car and look at this. I've got my trousers dirty. And that might seem a little thing for everyone else, but that was a disaster for me. And I spent about 5 minutes outside thinking, oh my God, my trousers are dirty. But, you know, I'll pull my socks over them and manage to get through it. So my BDD still affects me every day. However, I've learned to manage it. So, but when I was growing up through my younger age, from 12 to 15, 16, 17, I started wearing makeup. Got makeup on today. But for me, it didn't fix the issue, but it was something I used as a tool to help me manage it. So growing up through my 20s, it didn't fix my issue with mental health and suffering with BDD. So gradually got worse and worse and worse. And the average length of mental health from when someone first feels something to when someone reaches out is actually 10 years. And effectively that happened to me. So it built up, we got worse and worse and worse. I had a hair transplant, that ruled my life for a couple of years. And eventually I did have a breakdown. I reached out to my mother-in-law of all people. So I just couldn't deal with what was going on with my head. So it's a bit of a catalyst for me to try and get myself a little bit better. So a lot of things happened. But however, from that point, I did create my own men's makeup brand called War Paint for men. Men's cosmetic brand, because I didn't think there was a brand out there related to me as a guy or something I feel comfortable in going buying in a store. So I launched that back in November 2018. It's grown very, very well. This month just launched across 350 Superdrug stores, launching different retailers across the world. But what I was getting was so many people reaching out to me, customers, mums, dads, all wanting to speak to me about mental health, because I've been very active in talking about it when building War Paint as a brand. People were saying, look, you're doing amazing things for mental health and it's incredible. But I'll be honest, I felt an absolute fraud, because I think there's a lot of organisations out there, a lot of people talking about mental health, or in terms of, I don't want to say, it's almost like a tick box for a lot of organisations to say they're doing stuff for mental health, but are they really? So as much as me talking about, I wanted to proactively do something to help people. And for me, the biggest thing that hit me was about the information, about how difficult it was for a lot of people to access the right information from the right people in a really organic way. So all we've got to look at is social media and how it's gone from Facebook, which was posting on a forum, to Instagram, which is all about images. It's now TikTok. It's all quick, sharp content, video based. So using all of that and some technology, I decided to create a brand called JAAQ. So it stands for Just Ask a Question, which is giving people instant access to the right information for me from the right sources in a really engaging way that has never been done before. So we launched the platform, the really basic platform, back in October last year. We got a lot of press coverage. We got a lot of visits to the site, but it was a very basic site. Loads of people reached out to us on the first day. We had 400 emails. They were all saying, can you do this? Can you cover this? So effectively we parked it and we said, look, we need to do this. I don't want to say properly, but really go to town with mental health and all the information surrounding it. Because that's the other thing for me with mental health. A couple of things. I think a lot of people think mental health is just a condition, right? So be it body dysmorphia, depression, anxiety, stress. A lot of people have that focus that is mental health, but it is so much more than that. It's everything in your life, right? It's from sleep, nutrition, physical health, everything relates to your mental health. So what we tried to do with JAAQ, with the new platform, which we launched a couple of weeks ago, is really bring to life all of the different topics that are mental health and using leading experts. So I can always see we've got people like Josh Connolly on here, Katie Neves, we've got all of our incredible experts. And funny enough, I'm in actually NatWest today. So NatWest are a partner. So I'm in a manager's office in this call, and downstairs we're in the Milton Keynes branch, and they've got a full activation today going on for NatWest. And Josh Connolly, Katie, because they're the two people I see, there's big images of you at the front of NatWest, sitting there, dwelling, waiting to have questions. You literally scan the QR code. We'll send some videos around in a minute. It's incredible. Got people downstairs using the platform. So the mission for us with JAAQ is to give people the right information to be completely free, this platform, because that's the thing for me. If we look at Google, look at all these other search engines that are out there, they're amazing. They're full of information. However, a good example for me is if you type in what is depression to Google, you get 3.2 billion results. You go through them, you click on majority of the first 2 pages. It's literally text format, and it's what is depression, just gives you text. For someone who suffers with dyslexia, it's probably not the best way for me to digest information. I think a lot of people now are moving away from reading loads of text, because the other thing for me, what you don't get from me is empathy, is understanding like how people express themselves. You can read something a very different way. And I think sometimes you go down a rabbit warren. So for me, the big gap in, I don't call it the gap in the market, but the gap in the mental health space is literally giving people access to the right information. Finally, which I didn't know until we started, JAAQ, is that the first 3, if you call them therapy sessions or sessions with an expert on any of these conditions, body dysmorphia, all it is information giving. And sometimes people have to wait. For example, for body dysmorphia, if you go to local NHS, they will maybe diagnose you and say, you've got something called body dysmorphia, you need to see a specialist on the NHS. The lead time at the minute to see a specialist, and bear in mind, a lot of people here are at crisis when they reach out to their local GP. They've hit the crisis point and they're in a bad way. 36 weeks is the lead time to see that expert. And in the first 3 sessions of that expert, all it is information giving. What is body dysmorphia? How does it work? How long can it last? Is there any therapy for it? Is there any medication? How can I support someone? And that's the final thing for me. This platform is as much about someone going through something as what we want to do is help and get people who are supporting people going through something. So on the platform, we have eating disorders. So Janet Treasure, she's the world leading expert for eating disorders, just been classed by the government as world leading expert. You can literally ask her hundreds of questions, but there's a whole section on there around how to support someone. And when we spoke to her about the questions we were going to ask, she said more important than therapy for people with an eating disorder is their surrounding network getting the right information to help them support people. That is more important than them getting therapy in the first instance. So I genuinely believe what we're creating with JAAQ, with all these unbelievable creators that are on this call, on the platform, I genuinely think we can change the world with it. So really excited. Go and check out JAAQ.org. It's completely free. So please share it across your organisations. There's no charge. You don't even have to have an account to first use it. All the information is there, giving people the right information from the right sources in an organic way in a way it's never been done before. I really think it's groundbreaking. So I think that's about 11 minutes. So hopefully that's a bit of an overview. And I know you're going to speak to some amazing creators. The other thing we're doing as well, guys, which I think Paul's going to allude to, we are working on the JAAQ in the workplace version of the platform, which have been asked so much by so many corporates for it. So very dedicated towards the JAAQ workplace, also in the workplace. So it'll be great to, I think we're going to ask today about what things would you like covered in that, because that's very separate, where this free platform is very, I don't call it lifestyle-y, right? But there's a lot of general information about these topics. So keep that in mind, and thank you so much for the support.
That's a massive.